Okay, I've changed into the area where all the code was pulled down from GitHub. It's called my local repository, and we're going to get the code to run out of the local repository. Now, it's a little bit confusing at this point because we have the original place where the code was, and we've put this under GitHub, and now we have this second area here, which is a copy of it. And we actually want to work with the code in this area here because it's connected up to Visual Studio. And if you consider the scenario with there's somebody on the team and they do this initial push, but everybody else on the team, they're pulling it down and working on it with their local repository. So we're going to kind of discuss this from the viewpoint of the other 10 team members, they're working on it in their local repository. And even the person that originally pushed it, which is kind of me in this case, I'll also be working in this copy over here in my local repository here. So I have to get it working. Now, none of the modules, the node modules, were pushed up to GitHub because they're just massive. And if you look at package.json, there's lots of files there saying all the packages it needs. So the first thing we want to do is install them all. We're going to try to do an np install and see how that goes. And it's starting to install, and I'm going to come back when either something interesting happens or it finishes. It finished. There were some issues, 3 critical. Let's try running the np audit fix force just to be on the safe side. Okay, that took a while to complete. So let's see if it'll come up. I'm not sure if it will or won't. I'm not sure we have everything in place, but let's try an np start. We don't have the server running, by the way, so there's still going to be an issue, but let's see how close it comes to working. And here it is starting the development server. That's a good sign. Here is the browser that's just opened up. Another good sign. And it's going to have an issue here because we don't have the server side running. And so we will hit an error, but let's just see what it says. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm a little surprised that it did as well as it did. There's no records listed because the server side isn't running. I think I'll just do another quick little test where I will change into the server directory, and this is I'm just going to start up here in this location just as this little mini test. You don't feel like you have to follow this. I just want to see how it does if I actually do have a server running. So I'm going to pause here while this starts up and we'll see what it does. Okay, and it did really well. So the server is running, so now it shows the record in the database. Okay, so that was taking the client, and we went into Visual Studio and we cloned from GitHub and we pulled the code down, and then in our local repository we did an npm install and pulled down all the modules, and we are successfully running out of our local repository. So we can make code changes there and try them out and see how they do, and everything is good. In a separate step, it might be the next video, we'll do the same sort of thing on the server. So we have the server, we make a local copy of it. In Visual Studio, we pull from the server in GitHub, and we have the server running locally in another repository, and we start up there rather than in this area.